I already have made a video of how I created this one, and I'm going to try to make, with my limited skills, it into a very simple pocket version of the book of Amun Ra from the movie The Mummy, and this is the beginning. As I said, there is a video about it also. First step is the first page, which is of course not as befitting for the Book of Amun Ra as it is now. I've found on the internet the first page of the book, which I'm going to print now on my printer and adjust in size and stick it on here. Well, here it is. It's maybe not the first page, but it's one of the pages. What I want to do is, in the movie they talk about omnipos, a bird with wings, a stork with wings, and it's in almost at least the first and the second movie. So I'm going to use this, which is open because the shape of the original book, to copy paste in the stork picture, which I have elsewhere. Okay, keep in mind that I'm not that handy, but I can do simple Photoshop, and I have included this one. I don't know if it's really in Egypted correct, but this is what they used in the movie, so for a stork. And I have looked up, a stork is something like a soul, eternity, so it could be especially good for the Book of Life. I turned it into black and white and printed it on a kind of yellowish paper, and I printed it out in the correct format, so it would be optimum in style. So we have now this. And the next step will be a great gamble because I theorized about it, but it does not mean it will work in the reality, of course. And my theory is that I'm going to use air drying modeling clay to put a thin layer on it, which allows me to push in or scratch out some simple hieroglyphs and push in form of this one, which I bought on AliExpress for €5. It's very bad quality, but I'm trying to use it as a kind of stamp to create the hollowed out where this puzzle box should be in the movie. Let's see how my theory works out. I just put in a lot in the middle and I'm rubbing it out over the cover, keeping in mind that this still has to be able to fold, so I'm staying here. I'm already taken into account that it might not stick to the book cover, but I'm forming it anyway, and if it loosens I can stick it on with glue. I will show you a little bit of the technique I'm currently using. I'm using my finger to spread it, and then you have this result. I know it's not perfectly smooth, but I'm looking for a kind of structure in which I can push some shapes. So I'm now going to continue to cover the whole cup. I've learned to all the way doing this. I learned that you better already make it as flat as possible and then integrate it, not starting with a bulb and rubbing that out. So already I'm now going to see if I can smooth it out and integrate the last piece, and then I'm going to see if I can push in some shapes. Well, it's not perfect, and maybe the edges will be crumbling, but okay, it's an old book, don't you think? Anyway, I have to go on because I have to prevent it from being too dry to push in. It's starting to crumble, so I'm going to continue as fast as possible. Well, this is the best I could do. Probably it will loosen when it's dry, but might be able to stick it back on. As I said, this one I used as a stamp. Then flatted the inner circle and draw an eye with, again, household knife. And then made a circle with this glass. And then decorated it with some slices. And then pushed in one of my ankhs, which I have myself a lot of them because I like them. And then draw a cartouche and create it with some little cuts, something that from very far looks maybe like hieroglyphs. Well, it's a nice idea. I'm not sure it is going to work, but let's see how it dries up. The clay, as I feared, started to crack a little, which I solved by adding, first of all, to the edges the tacky glue, and then later when I saw that it happened on the upper side also, I also rubbed it in with tacky glue, and now it kind of feels a little bit more plasticky, strangely enough, so less brittle, and I think I might be able to paint this wonderfully. It seems like at least the upper layer has changed structure from, as I said, clay to a kind of plastic-like. So it's less brittle now. Perfectly. I'm very happy with it. That is depending on how it takes on the paint. At the side I already used a basic layer of paint, which I will be doing on the back also, but I don't want to put it upside down, so I'm standing the book up and then painting it, so the front will not be squashed. And then when everything is about the same color, I'm going to paint it with gold. The base paint I'm using is gesso, which I also use when I paint happy stones. Oh, and a handy advice, if you're working with fluid stuff like glue or paint or anything fluid, always have paper towel near so you can dab away the spoil, which you spoiled, the spots, whatever. Now it was standing up, I realized also had to do the upper edges. And when it's dry, I'm going to put it upside down and do the other side. So I know the base is not that neat, but since I want to have a little structure in it, that does not matter. Just see how the gold paint flows on it. And if it ends up rough, that's no problem in this case. Also, the base paint is difficult to make smooth. It's just meant as a base. I'm now going to let it dry, then do the underside edges, and then it's ready for its final finish, the gold paint. I'm very curious how it will end up looking like. Okay, what I noticed is when I really painted those reliefs, they started to fade into the background. So I only have the bare minimum on them now. I removed a lot of them. The paint, and if you have the time, you have to use several layers, I think. I don't have the time because of the deadline for the gift exchange and it has to dry, so I slotted up as much gold paint as I could, and at the side it's really ugly, but okay, so next time, if there ever is a next time, I will do it more thoroughly, but due to time. But if you're doing it several layers, be patient, and you probably have a much better result than I had. So this is going to dry now, and then I have to do the back, and then I'm ready. And this is the end result, and I turned out to have to do 2 layers on each side. Now the back is not that interesting, but... And then you open it, as you have seen before. Oh, it's too fast. The hieroglyphs with the Oedipus of Amenipus or so, which they can't pronounce, and then they find this. That present is a moon circlet, and then I also added an extra present, and that is this. In the movie, the main character Rick steals a set of archaeological tools for Evelyn, and this is kind of symbolical. And there are also two things she can break. Both mummies. One mummy intact and one mummy not intact. And they come from this box, which I found in the thrift store for €1. So, perfectly themed gift. Just see what it can be. And even with limited skills, although the hollowing out was a great disaster and very difficult, but still I'm very happy with the outside look I could create in a very easy way. And if you enjoyed this video, please like or subscribe, and thank you for watching. Bye!